A lot of people rushed into AI because it's very appealing, right? There is always bias in AI.
What is changing with the EU Act?
Interesting and bold statement that the EU Act is going to come live.
What are companies doing today? What they were doing in the past?
I've seen clients going through major cybersecurity incidents and walk away like nothing.
So it's something as well about reputation.
It's a bit more complex than that. You need to put many different people around the table. When we ask questions to people how they are using it, a lot of them come back with a question saying, we are not sure if we're doing it right. We gave the toys to the kids, but we haven't put any limits on things. So they start drawing on the sofa and on the wall, and you're surprised about that. It's certainly not easy for a startup.
In a few weeks, the EU AI Act is going to go live across Europe. We're talking about penalties, we're talking about the scopes that companies are not used to. A lot of these companies are thinking we need to comply. Some others are thinking maybe we comply, maybe we pay the fines. Today we are talking with Alexis, CEO of Acuna. Hi Alexis, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Interesting and bold statement that the EU Act is going to come live. It's a bit more complex than that. And I'm not a legal expert, just to be clear, okay? My job is to help organizations make sure they comply. I'm helping legal experts. I'm helping CISOs, IT professionals, and the EU Act is one of the key topics. So what's coming live, actually, the enforcement is regarding high-risk systems, high-risk AI systems. And it's expected that companies have done their due diligence by August.
We are talking that it's coming in August, as you clearly clarified for everyone. What about the scope? What are companies doing today? What they were doing in the past? And what is changing with the EU Act?
Well, what you need to get is we are focusing on high-risk systems. So what are high-risk systems? Any AI system which is today using data like biometric data, for example. So if you are in a situation where you are either developing, providing a solution using biometric data or using one, and we'll come to that point because that's quite interesting, I think, you will be the topic. Or if you are in what we call critical infrastructures, like the NIS 2 in Europe is targeting that. If we understand that AI is part of the safety components, you are going to be targeted by that. If you are in education, vocational training, if we have AI system determining if people can have access to education, you are going to fall under that. If you are using it for employment, that's probably going to touch a lot of our audience. I had discussions just no longer than 3 days ago with one of our clients, CEPI, and the discussions were we have a lot of discussion regarding AI, but one of the discussion was regarding employment and the fact and how we do selection. So they told me the HR director was planning, they used to receive 100 applications for one position. Today they receive 400.
Wow.
So the use of AI for recruitment is interesting, of course, for them. Despite we have a bad history with it. With the case of Amazon, having a strong bias toward women is one example. But, again, let's just come back. So I'm losing myself. Come back to the EU Act. If you are around employment, if you are around management of workers, and using AI, you're going to fall into that.
Does it go?
There are more topics again. Huh?
Yeah.
Law enforcement falls into it. There are border control elements as well on that. There are the list in administrations as well. So, but you really have to look at each use case of what's going to fall under in August.
This is very interesting because, as you mentioned before, you're someone that is talking with companies. You're someone that is talking with multinational companies, medium-sized companies, even startups. How do they see this EU Act? What do they perceive? Are they even concerned, or they are more concerned about only the AI part?
Well, I'd be surprised. Most of them are doing a great job. Meaning, in a sense that they are questioning themselves about what to do. A lot of people rushed into AI because it's very appealing, right? and you're like, oh, we're going to accelerate things. But most of the clients we see are telling us, yes, we still understand there are some issues. There may be some risks. And they start realizing they probably lack governance as well, understanding exactly where are the risks, where are limits. For example, when we see the usage of AI in organization, and when we ask questions to people how they are using it, a lot of them come back with a question saying, "We are not sure if we're doing it right. Am I supposed to put this data in it? Is this okay or not?" Like, if I'm using, let's say, Copilot, inside Microsoft tenant, that's fine, right? They say if I'm using Claude Anthropic, it's an enterprise version, that's fine. And I don't want to answer that, by the way, right now, because it's a complex answer to give. It's a technical complex answer. It's more complicated than that. But the question is, I see people realizing that they have to do something. Do they know what to do? Not always. And honestly, we are all learning as we do, because it's a new topic. But film concept that we have from governance, from risk management, from other fields like cybersecurity apply well, and quality as well.
Yeah,
Quality
of course.
management apply well to AI. But that's probably a whole discussion we can have on the topic.
You mentioned the part of speed of everyone trying to implement AI, and you mentioned as well governance. These usually don't go together, right? Speed and governance is like opposites sometimes. How do companies handle this? Because you want to produce, you want to innovate, you want to put AI, but you also need to be compliant. You also need to govern your AI, where to put, where to use, what not to use, how the data is shared. How are you advising companies on this?
Well, that's a great question. Also, part of a discussion I had with a client this week. You see, everything is about these days about agility, and there are two words. There is the agility part and the innovation part. So on the agility part, it's more than just a trend. Agility became a reality because the world is changing so fast, technology is evolving so fast, people are expecting things to be delivered very quickly. It's a real challenge for organization. And it's true that governance may be seen as holding you to reach agility. The fact is, and I like to say that we if you put good brakes on a car, is to go faster, is so you can corner fast. So any sports car that you see have, these shiny red brakes that you can see, and the reason the brakes are so big and is because having good brakes means, oh, I have a big engine, right? So I need very good brakes. So for me, it's quite critical to say governance is supposed to be a business enabler. And being a business enabler is just to make sure that you can take sharp corners, you can make fast decisions, you can stop when you need to stop, and start again fast as well. So the brakes have to become tight when you need it and very loose when you need it as well. So we need to adapt things, and that's all about risk appetite. The danger will be to go on a fast car with no brakes. That's the real danger. And no one's want to do that. You will not go in a car like that, right? Yeah, you will crash. You know that. So I often use this image when I talk to executive, because they understand it very, very quickly. Now, the other aspect of that is innovation. And back in my days in Nestle, we used to say no process drives innovation. And it's true that innovation for pure creativity needs you need freedom, and it's perfectly fine as long as it's a sandbox. So I'm all about creativity and innovation, of course. That's what we do in Acuna all the time. But we do it inside sandboxes. We do it inside environments which are protected, when we're not touching anything sensitive. And I think governance is also here to help establishing the frameworks, the wall of the sandbox, to allow people to just go wild in there, try to innovate, try to create.
How does the EU AI Act connect to this? Because I think it's something worth asking.
The EU Act came very early somehow. Well, AI exists for a long time for sure, but the models that we see today, the emergence of the LLM, the autoregressive transformers that we use are somehow it came very, very early at the beginning. It's quite amazing. I mean, people really had a vision. Now, the principle that drive it are great, but sometimes difficult to apply as well. Let me take an example. There are several principles, and one of them is going to be around fairness, for example, or transparency and accountability. Just take these three. There are others like being human-centric, ethics, etc., which are as well essential. Can have a whole discussion on that. But how does it apply to that? Just transfer your question. You see, if I want to be able to deliver something fast to my clients, my partners, whoever I'm working, whatever model I'm working with, I need to be able to demonstrate transparency of what I'm doing, which means which solutions am I using, and talking about fairness, what kind of biases exist? Because there is always bias in AI, like there is always bias in human. The question is, how do you measure the bias? How you ensure that you take care of the bias, that you improve things? Whether you're working with a third party or you're developing something yourself, you need benchmarks. And that's what the EUI Act comes in and tells you, you need to explain what you do, how you do it. So it can be as simple as saying, the way we recruit people is using this solution from a third party. That's transparency. Now, understanding how the third party has tuned their AI to do recruitment and what level of bias they have inside, what kind of benchmark, is also transparency. So if I'm using a solution, I need to be aware of that, to be able to tell the candidates so they don't feel like they were rejected because the AI selected me wrong. And this is where the accountability part comes in, because you need to be accountable of any decision. So you would have to expect at some point as a company to have people that can attack you, saying, you used AI, there was a bias, show me there was no bias.
So it's something as well about reputation.
Yes, because reputation is a strange thing for me. I've seen clients going through major cybersecurity incidents and walk away like nothing. I mean, look at Sony and the PlayStation Network. Did that ever stop you from playing your PlayStation?
No.
Despite there was a
Probably
big
would
hack?
never be.
Despite a big hack and lost a lot of data. So sometimes there is an impact reputation when you have an incident or something, and sometimes there is not. But on the other hand, when you look at other incidents, most of the time the reputational impact is on people. So, like in the Walmart case, a big hack of Walmart a few years ago, people got fired up to the CEO. So people get fired after incidents. Now, depending on the kind of organization you work with, in Acuna client, we have also people that are like in the UN community or organizations that are funded by private funds and government funds. So reputation is key for them, because if they do have an incident or big trial or something, they will get in trouble. They will not get replenished. They won't have the money to operate. So for them, it's critical. For some private companies, depending on the size, they may go through it, but they may have a big fine, because fines are huge, right?
The fines now that you mentioned fines, because with NIS2, we see that boards are getting fined. So it's not only now the company, but it's actually personal liability.
Yes.
Does this apply as well for the UA Act?
I'm not an expert on the topic, to be honest with you, so I won't answer on that. I think as well we need to wait a bit with the jurisprudence. We need to see what's happening. If it's going to follow the same flow as GDPR. No, GDPR is a good idea. We know, for example, that the GDPR authority in Europe is treating around 4 to 5% of requests, no more than that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they don't have the means to do much more than that, but they fine millions and millions and millions of euros. So, we have the numbers. The numbers are online. You can go and there are trackers.
We'll leave the link.
Fines.
So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, we can. It's very interesting to see actually also which articles are being followed. It's because you don't have proof of consent, if you have not declared what you do, if you haven't put security measures, you haven't put any governance in place, you get fined. So with the GDPR, we have a good experience. We know. Is the UAI going to follow the same path? I don't know. Maybe we be expected. But once the regulation, there is act, and then we have also directives. Like the NIS 2, where the countries are doing. The countries are going to be the one giving the fines. It's going to be different in every country. So I think yes, the number are published up to what it can go. I don't have them in mind, so I won't. Maybe you do have them in your notes. I don't.
We
I
will
don't
find
right
it
now.
out, and we will leave it in the video as well.
I don't want to say anything silly on that. But I think in any case, we have to wait and see.
And now that we are based in Switzerland, right? We are technically not in the scope of the UAI Act. But what happened with companies that work directly with companies in Europe, but that are based in Switzerland?
Yeah. Okay. We're in Switzerland. Acuna's clients all over the world, by the way. So but we
Globally.
do have clients in Switzerland. Of course, they were our first clients, and we thank them as well for the trust they've been giving us on that. So it's one of the topics that comes when we talk with. We have clients in Switzerland which are as well international organizations, so they're a bit, they fall into that category where they just some of them have offices in Europe and employees in Europe, and but in any case, most of them work with third parties that are in Europe as well. So all their clients are in Europe, and that's where it gets very interesting, because there is this whole idea of supply chain. And you, depending what you do, you will have to demonstrate your due diligence that you have done probably for your clients. I mean, we've seen that, we've seen the explosion, with Supplier Shield, the TPRM part of Acuna. We've seen the explosion of people saying, we have to follow our supply chain because our clients are asking us that. And we need to demonstrate a lot of things that 4 or 5 years ago we didn't have to. So now the rule is, no, you need to show your due diligence, demonstrate that you do what, and do it continuously. So to answer your question, for a Swiss company, if you just operate in Switzerland, all your clients are in Switzerland, not much. But, as usual, Switzerland will follow in Europe. It will take a while, but they will follow in Europe. But in any case, I think to remain a trusted entity, if you have clients outside, you don't have a choice, just align to it. In any case, there are best practices to follow, And they're here as well to help you understand the risks.
You're building governance for your company.
Yes, and you are, for me, it's all about resilience. You're becoming more resilient if you think of it this way,
So, for example, if I'm a head of risk at Geneva, what things do I already have in place that will help me go in play, like comply with the UAI Act?
As well, it's an interesting topic. So in most organizations, we know where we have head of risk, enterprise risk management. They have which are very good methodologies to work with the UAI Act and the AI topic. The problem comes in the competence of understanding risks linked to AI. And these days, I start to see chief AI officers popping up in some organizations, but they are not easy to find, because you need people who have experience in AI and, at least 4 or 5 years experience in working in AI projects give you some idea. You need to have a deep understanding of the technical architectures of AI, but as well understanding the evolutions and understanding that what is provided to you by third parties like Microsoft, Anthropic, OpenAI, whatever, Gemini, Google, to your company, what is being delivered to the business, you need to understand the interactions. You need to understand how the data is going to flow. You need to understand all these elements. So in order to do risk management in AI, while we have some standards that came out, the 4205, for example, to help us, you need to put many different people around the table, depending on what you do, really, in order to do a proper AI risk assessment.
Do you think companies need to have certain type of maturity already to assess this, or like a startup that is brand new to the market that needs to comply will have the tools, will have the experience, will have the expertise?
Well, when you're on a startup and been there, so when you build things, you're so focused in what you're building, it's very difficult to do governance and risk and this kind of thing on the side. Now you come to a point, and that's interesting because we have some of our clients coming like that, like startups, where they come to a point where the product is great, but they have to demonstrate compliance, and suddenly, so usually they come to us, can you help us? And say, yeah, sure, okay, we can help with a group on building things. You can use our solution to help you build things, but at some point they will still come and realize that they need to grow their own competence as well on the field. So it's certainly not easy for a startup. We of course we try to support, we try to sustain, companies where to provide them with tools to understand the risks and make the right decisions. But today it's a bit like we gave the toys to the kids, but we haven't put any limits on things. So they start drawing on the sofa and on the wall, and you're surprised about that. But this is what happens. You start giving AI tools to your employees, and they will start innovating. They will start creating things. They will start trying things. And then you're in a situation after a little while where, you have to stay. Okay, hold on.
Holy
So these are
horses.
exactly. Here are the limits, and this is how we should work with it. So it's definitely not easy. Honestly, definitely not easy. And we are working hard with the team as well to in Acuna to build risk models for AI based on what we see with our clients, to say like that out of the box you will have some key risks that we identify, or at least give you path to help you think, and brainstorm a bit around the topic to see how much is this affecting you or not. Because honestly, taking the EU Act out of the text and applying it like this, it's a bit rough. Quick question, and be honest with yourself. Your GRC tool was built for a company with one framework. How many are you carrying now? 20 years auditing programs taught me the green dashboard never survives a real question. You've probably felt that for a while. So we built Acuna, every framework you carry, on one set of controls, so work you do once counts everywhere. The AI fetches, you confirm. I'm Alexis, a CISO who built the platform he wished he had, bridging EU regulation and US execution. That's AI governance, reimagined. Links in the description.